The way it is that I mentor Neto is not the way it is that I would mentor Elia. The way I mentor Elia is not the way it is that I would mentor Andre. And the way I mentor Andre isn't the way that I would mentor my brother Guillaume. Each and every single person responds to mentorship very different. Each person is extremely unique. Each person has different traumas that they brought into their lives, right? And being a leader inside of this industry, you're gonna go through different phases of leading different people inside of your lives. The first phase is the honeymoon phase. Maybe you just got started inside of the business. Maybe you just hit P150. For the first time, you have individuals that are following you, that are listening to what it is that you say and willing to do what it is that you do. And in the honeymoon phase, have you noticed? You remember that anybody ever been in love, but for the first time, you remember that first love you ever had? You remember that first love where you're like 13, 14, 15? It's that love where you're like on the phone till 2 o'clock in the morning. You hang up. No, you hang up first. I love you. No, I love you more. Right, it's that honeymoon love, man. Nothing can go wrong inside of that honeymoon love. Right, that's the first phase. The second phase of leadership is the realization phase. You start to realize, hey, whoa, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. This is gonna take some work. This is gonna take some bonding. This is gonna take some negotiation. And then the third phase, after you start to realize that, not everyone you start with is gonna stay. And you start to experience loss inside of your organization. You start to experience loss inside of your business. And then we go into the drill instructor phase. I know I have a few drill instructors inside of the building right now. Those are the ones, and I need you to understand, there's nothing wrong with any of these phases, but there's everything wrong with staying in one of these phases. You see, the drill instructor phase is the phase where you think that you could tell people what to do at all times. The drill instructor phase is the one where it is your way or it is the highway. That drill instructor phase is gonna get you stuck. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna get you stuck. No one likes to be told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, so on and so forth. Then from there, we realize that drill instructor phase, yelling at people, telling people what to do, it doesn't work. So then we go into the pushover phase. And in the pushover phase, you no longer hold people accountable. In the pushover phase, you're willing to tell them whatever it is that they want to hear so they can perform, right? They tell you, oh, I didn't have time to get on this call. You're like, oh, it's okay, dude. It's okay. You let them know, oh, they tell you, I haven't been in the mood to get on Go Live. It's okay. When you're in the mood, you'll be back on the Go Lives. And then you realize that doesn't serve you either. And then you finally enter that final phase. And that final phase is the nurturing phase. Can we say nurture? Nurture. You see, nurture, the definition of nurture is to care, it's to care for and protect someone or something as they are growing. To nurture something is to care for and protect something while it is growing. Think about that for a moment. Our parents nurture us. Sometimes we have to nurture plants if you're into gardening. Inside of business, you have to nurture people. If you're married, you have to nurture the relationship. You see, nurturing is absolutely everything. Check this out. There's this timeless argument, right? There's this timeless argument from psychologists about nurture versus nature. Nurture versus nature. And essentially, it's talking about how we develop our characteristics as a human being, right? From the very beginning, as a child, we're either nurtured or we allow nature to play its course. From the very, very beginning. And when it's about nature, that comes from our biological factors, AKA our genetics. It's something that we're born with. But when it comes to nurture, it's referring to our upbringing and our life experiences. You see, I believe that if we're not nurtured as leaders, if we're not nurtured as children, if we're not nurtured inside of our professions, we're truly going to become a product of our environment rather than our environment being a product of who it is that we are. You see, nurturing leads to so much more than just momentum. Right now, we're about to enter a state of momentum in 2024. And I'm trying to teach you guys things that I struggled with during my last wave of momentum. And one of the ones is I didn't nurture leaders enough. I led them. I loved them. But I didn't truly nurture them. Today, we're going to go over how it is that you can nurture your organization as a leader. Because when I first entered the industry, I was not doing this. You see, when I first entered the industry, I was surviving for the first 3 years off of pure nature because I wasn't taught any better. There were not leaders that showed me how it is to nurture, and there weren't leaders that were nurturing me. You see, I was already a defensive man when I joined this industry. What does that mean? I was a defensive man, so I became a defensive leader. You see, when I joined this industry, I had a scarcity mindset for life, so the same exact thing happened inside of my business. When I first joined this industry, I was always communicating to be understood, when in reality, we should be communicating in order to understand. See, a lot of the times by nature, it'll help us survive, but it won't help us thrive. And that's the truth. The traumas that we have, the things that we've gone through, it'll help us survive. You're still alive because of those things. But I also need you to understand, it's not going to get you to that next level. And it's not going to get your organization to that next level. We got to learn to nurture these individuals. You see, back in the United States, a lot of my organization, how do I say this? Back in the United States, a lot of my organization is a lot like me. They're rough around the edges. A lot of them are from cities that they weren't privileged. And I remember when I started building with teams in New York City, when I started building with teams even in Mexico and different third world countries, a lot of my peers inside of the industries and other companies would look at me and they'd say, yo, how do you tame this organization? Like, you got a bunch of wild individuals. And I said, bro, I don't tame anybody. I've nurtured this organization from the ground up. I've loved on this organization from the ground up. So I want to show you guys how nurturing leads to further. You see, nurturing the org is going to further your relationships. Nurturing the org is going to further your potential. Nurturing the org is going to further your own abilities. And there's a few ways to nurture the organization. And I'm coming over here for a reason to my chairman, because it is our responsibility, right? To nurture the organization, to nurture the relationships, to nurture the leaders that we have, in order to teach everyone else inside of this stadium how they can continue to do so. You know, one of my favorite things about this organization and the leaders that I'm looking at in front of me right now, inside of this chairman section, inside of this educator section, is that you guys are nurturers by nature. You guys love on people by nature. You wouldn't be inside of this industry if you didn't. But a lot of the times we love people the wrong way. A lot of the times we teach people the wrong way. I just want to bring some insight, and I want to encourage you, chairman, today to take some of the notes on what it is that I'm going to be talking about, because all these people out here depend on how it is that we nurture them. Their success depends on how it is that we nurture them. And the future wave that we're about to have, I told you, we're about to be in momentum in a really big way in 2024. I was talking to Alex about this. It is here. This isn't something that, for the last 2-3 conventions, we've been talking about, oh, we're going to be in momentum one day. We're going to be in momentum. Guys, it's here. It's finally here. We defied all odds. So we need to nurture this and learn from our last bull run that we had on how to maintain that bull run, how to maintain that growth. And it's going to start with nurturing, not nurturing just our top 10% that we work on. but finding the way to teach our top 10% how to nurture 80% of the organization along with us. So if you're gonna be successful in the building, you want some nurture, make some noise. First way to nurture as a leader, first way to nurture. You calm and encourage other individuals. You calm and encourage other individuals. When people become worked up, and guess what? You're working with leaders. So if you're working with a leader is passionate. And if an individual is passionate, they're gonna get worked up when things don't go the way they plan. That is normal. That does not mean that they're emotionally unintelligent. That does not mean that they don't know how to control themselves. That just simply means that they're passionate and things are not working out the way it is that they thought it was. When that happens, we start to act erratic as a leader. As a leader, you ever been so passionate about something? So passionate about an event and the event didn't sell out? You've been so passionate about a call, but the call didn't pack out. You've been so passionate about a promotion, but the promotion didn't work out. We start to become erratic with our behaviors. As a leader, when you're nurturing somebody, you gotta sit there and you gotta realize what those behaviors are. You gotta calm them down. You gotta talk them back from the ledge sometimes. You know how many times Alex has talked me back from the ledge? Even as a 750, you know how many times I've wanted to quit? You know how many times Jason Brown has talked me off the ledge? You know how many times Chris Terry has talked me off the ledge? You see, what they do is they calm me down. Once they calm me down, they begin to encourage me. They begin to encourage me. Matt, you got this. Matt, you got this. We've been through this before. How many times have you need to be talking off the ledge? Think about it this way. How many times are you gonna have to talk people off the ledge? So number one, we calm and we encourage. Number two, reinforcement. Second best way to nurture another leader is to reinforce. You see, I work with a lot of high performers. Like, can you imagine? It's one thing to be a mentor for people, right? It's one thing to be a mentor for people. Can you imagine mentoring mentors? Like, can you imagine the pressure I have to mentor a Chairman 100? The pressure I have to mentor a Chairman 50? Chairman 25, Chairman 10, come on. It's not easy. It's not easy. But you know what? Most of the time, these high performers that I mentor, and they can tell you because they're on the other side of those barricades right there. Most of the time, most of the conversations I have with these high performers, I'm reinforcing what they already know. You ever been on a call with somebody inside of your organization just to listen 90% of the call and then tell them, you know what you gotta do already? You know what you gotta do. Sometimes we just gotta play that therapist, man. Sometimes people just need to hear themselves say it out loud, and then you reinforce what it is that they're already believing. Most times, we as leaders, we know what we've gotta do. Think about it. Let's put the shoe on the other foot for a second. How many times have you been an individual where you call your mentor, but you already know the answer? It's a story of my life. Speaking of stories, story time. I was in the studio recently recording my record with one of our educators, actually, Mr. Ace Enders, right? And it was time for me to do vocals. And I had a very rough night. I didn't have any sleep. I was insecure about my vocals. I'm in the vocal booth. My voice is tight. I didn't do the exercises in order to warm up. I kind of went in there insecure but overly confident at the exact same time. And I just was not able to sing that song to save my life. And I wanted to quit quite a few times. I was like, man, what are you doing? You're a Chairman 750. You're not a musician. Shut up and get out of the music. And I spoke to Ace at the end of the night, feeling defeated, feeling hurt, feeling broken. I spoke to him and I said, look, man, I don't know if I can do this song. I think I want to take this song off the record. He said, bro, you know what you gotta do. You walked into the studio today, you didn't rehearse. You went drinking last night. You weren't focused. You had a million things going on. You love this song. we're not taking it off. You're gonna do it again. The next day I went in there. It's actually my favorite song on the record, and it's the first single that we're releasing. He reinforced my decisions. He reinforced what it was that I was feeling. You good? He reinforced what it was that I was feeling, right? So reinforced it. The next way to nurture as a leader, we're gonna run through this really quick. Don't overwater. Don't overwater. Check this out, check this out. If you're overwatering a plant, that means that you're drowning it. And if something is drowning, what does that mean? It can't breathe, right? So if we're overwatering something, as leaders, we are not giving people room to breathe. We are not giving, let me see how much time I have left with you guys. We are not giving leaders room to breathe. You gotta give leaders room to make mistakes. You gotta give leaders room to make decisions. Yes, this is my business, 100%. I take accountability for my business. But at the end of the day, this is also your business and your business and your business and your business and your business. So my word is not the final say. Leaders, just because we say something doesn't mean that it's gonna get done that way. You see, I allow my leaders to take the reins, to take the ropes. It's not my schedule, it's not my culture. I involve myself inside of what it is that my leaders have going on. I don't call the shots, I support their shots. Some of you guys have customers and you're trying to tell them exactly what to do, but you don't even know their schedules, their whys, and what it is that they're trying to get done inside of their lives. You cannot overwater a plant, you cannot overwater an environment, you cannot overwater a leader because they will not be able to breathe. Story time. Neno. Where's Neno at? My brother Neno, a few months ago, we said, hey, let's rebuild the Miami market. And at the time, at one point, we were putting 700 people in a room for opportunity events every single week. And now we were struggling to get 20 people inside of a room, 15 people inside of a room. So we've been doing these Super Saturdays. I looked at my brother Jurgen and the Netherlands squad, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna learn from my family. And I said, okay, we're gonna get back to doing Super Saturdays. I don't care if there's 5 people inside of the room. And it wasn't good. And for like 4 months straight, we're spending all this money, and the events are not packing out. And Neto calls me and says, Manito, I want to change the venue. It's more expensive. I said, bro, we're not ready for that venue. Yeah, but Manito has a view of the ocean. We in Miami. We need to have it lit. It has to be a part of the culture, bro. And I need money. I was like, I'm good off of that, bro. Y'all figure that out. I don't think we should do that personally. And I'm sitting here thinking like, yo, I built the Miami team from scratch before. You don't know anything. You're from New York. And he said, nah, bro, trust. That was our biggest Super Saturday that we've had in years, guys. I let go, and I let my leader do his thing. And I supported it. And now, the team's on fire out there in Miami. So we can't overwater things. Next, another way to nurture as a leader. We're gonna run through this quick. Identify problems. I am not successful because of my skill sets. I'm not even successful, although you may disagree, because I'm one of the most handsome chairmen inside of this company. I'm successful. One of the reasons that I attribute my success is my ability to identify and solve problems. My ability to identify and solve problems. A lot of the times people give you the problem that they have, right? They'll give you the problem that they have, and at the core root, that's not actually the problem. A lot of the times we don't even know the own problems that we're going through. I mentor a lot of 6- and 7-figure earners, and they come to me and they explain what their problems are, and I'm like, you don't even know your own problem right now. That's why you haven't been able to find a solution to that problem. Let me give you an example. Story time. One day I'm talking to Christopher Terry. Christopher Terry, I'm struggling, I'm stuck, I'm frustrated, I don't know what's going on, I need help. He said, what's going on? I said, bro, volume has not moved. Volume has not moved, bro. I'm stuck. He said, Matt, first of all, you're not stuck, you're stable. Second of all, he went, grabbed my volume over the last 4 years, drew it on a chart, such a trader, drew it on a chart, and then showed me, what are you talking about? What is this? Higher high. 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 Where are you at right now? A correction. Holy shit. Helped me change the way it was that I was looking at my business, so the business that I was looking at began to change. He helped me identify what that problem was. As leaders, we gotta find the core roots of what these people's problems are. Acts of service is another way, guys. Acts of service. There's 3 ways to be able to serve somebody: time, treasure, and talents. Time, treasure, and talents. Those are 3 of the best ways to be able to nurture someone. You can nurture somebody with your time, which is the most valuable asset that you're ever gonna have. The only thing that you can't get back. So when a leader nurtures you with their time, respect it. Because what it is that they say yes to, they say no to something else. Me saying yes to being here, I said no to being with my daughter. Right? We have to respect that. Second way is the talents. God did not give us talents to be selfish, but to serve. So my talent to communicate is to bring people together, to get a point across. My talent with music is to create safe spaces and allow people to feel vulnerability. You have a talent, use it to serve, don't use it for selfishness. Last way to serve somebody, the treasure, the money. Sometimes that's investing in somebody, sometimes that's buying somebody something. Story time. A few conventions ago, I was bored in the back. I was tired of being in the back, not bored, I was super busy. And I was tired of being in the back. I said, man, I want to go grab some coffee. I could have easily went to the coffee machine that was in the back. I said, no, I want to go for a walk. So I walk upstairs. People are like, whoa. Walk to the coffee line, and I stand in the back. I could have easily went to the front and said, yo, I'm in a rush. Can I grab this coffee? I'll pay for your coffee really quick. Nobody would have told me no. But I went to the back, and this kid turns around. I hope he's in the room right now. This kid turns around, and he looks at me. He goes, what are you doing here? I said, I'm getting coffee. He said, no way. So him and I start talking. It's probably a 5-minute conversation. At the end of it, I said, yo, man, let me buy your coffee, bro. I don't know if he had the money to buy his coffee. Obviously he did. I don't know if that changed his life, but that changed the moment. Sometimes it's investing thousands on tours. Sometimes it's investing thousands on events. But sometimes it's investing $2 on a cup of coffee. That could change someone's moment. I know I changed that moment for him. Right? And the last way is creating memories. Last for somebody is to create memories. I look at all my chairmen here. I have memories that will last us a lifetime with at least 80 to 90% of these individuals. Whether it's places that we've traveled to, whether it's us hanging out, like one of my favorite memories with Elia, us after like 1 o'clock in the morning, my wife's trying to go to sleep. We're inside of my room on a tiny little screen playing Mario Kart, and I kicked his butt. And I get to say it to this day in front of thousands of people, man. It's one of my favorite memories about you, bro. You know, I look at so many of my different leaders, man. Look at so many of my different leaders, and I can just point out so many different memories. Me and Neto, oh my God, too many to count. I mean, so many different memories, and those memories lead to emotions. And those emotions lead to decisions. I'll quit on a business all day, but I'll never quit on people that I love. You can never, ever, ever pay me enough to fold on somebody that I love. You can never pay me enough to fold on a business. It's just, you can't. Why? Because I created those memories with these people. I'm loyal to these people. These memories are gonna last me a lifetime. Business, money, that comes and goes. As a matter of fact, when you learn to make money, money's easy to make. It takes money to make money, and you guys are gonna get there. But these relationships, I haven't found anything like this. This is an event that we created a memory together. And this memory will genuinely change my entire life. And I pray to God that it changes yours. I'm excited to see you guys absolutely thrive all of 2024. We're stepping into momentum. God bless you guys. Thank you for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up once again for Mr. Matt Rosa.